Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video on sports Gematria. Sports prove Gematria, news stories don't. Let's talk about why only sports can prove the work of Gematria and why news stories can't prove the work of Gematria. In sports Gematria, you have a clear winner. When you decode a sports game, you will know by the end of that game whether your decode was right or wrong. There is no in between. It's either you won or you lost. Unless there's a tie game. But more often than not, you either won or you lost. And it's very clear and it's immediate too. You know right away, that day. And because there is a clear winner or loser, you're able to track your results in real time. You're able to have a win percentage. I pick 10 games. I win 6 of those. I lose 4. I'm at a 60% win ratio. And based off of your real time results, you can start to see what Gematria works and what doesn't work. So basically, you pick 10 games, 6 win, 4 lose, 60% win ratio. Whatever worked on those 6 games, you can then replicate or try to replicate for the next remaining 10 games and see if you do a little bit better. Or you could look at your results, the 4 that you've lost, and see that, okay, well, these 4 lost, so this type of Gematria probably doesn't work like I may think it does. News stories are opinions. When you decode a news story, there is no clear ending result on whether you are right or wrong. It's opinions based results. There is no winner, there is no loser. And because there is no clear winner or loser, you're not able to actually track the results in real time. You don't have a percentage accuracy. So, for example, you're not able to say if I decode 10 news stories, how many of those 10 news stories are correct and which ones are wrong. And since there's no real time results that are tracked, you're automatically going to assume that all your Gematria works no matter what. And that's just simply not true because we know that based off of sports Gematria. You pick 10 games, you'll win 6, you lose 4, you're at a 60% win ratio. You decode 10 news stories, you're going to assume all 10 of those are correct, even though you know, and I know, and everybody else knows, you're not 100% of the time when making sports picks. So what makes you think you're 100% of the time when decoding news stories? The fallacy of sports, 2 sides. You can legitimately make a numerical narrative for either side to win a game for every game, no matter what the sport is, but only one of those sides actually is correct. We know this. We all know this. Those of us who decode sports regularly know that you can make a numerical case for either side of a team at any given time for any given game. But guess what? Only one of those sides is going to win. That same fallacy is in news stories. If you can legitimately make a numerical case for both sides of a team to win a game in sports with only one clear winner at the end, ask yourself, how many numerical cases can you make for a news story? And which side is actually right? And how would you even know which side is right? You can't know. There's no way to know. It's a guess. It's your opinion. And most people do not want to automatically assume they're wrong. So they're going to automatically assume they're right. But how would you even know that? So, an example, let's use my picking record from Patreon. I have picked 1,544 games in almost 12 months. I'm coming up on my 1 year anniversary in a couple weeks. I have a winning ratio of 61%. Okay. Now, based off of my sports picking results, if I were to pick 1,544 news stories in the same amount of time, based off of my sports picking results, I can conclude that 39% of those stories will be dead wrong one way or another. Okay? If I'm making 1,544 sports picks and I'm only getting 61% of those right, 1,544 news stories, even though news stories don't come with a win-loss ratio, I'm not going to sit here and assume that all 1,544 news stories is 100% correct. That is ignorant. That is false. That is uneducated. No, what I would conclude is 39% of my news stories more than likely is dead wrong. And it might even be more than that. Because if we look at my sports picking record broken down individually by sport, in some sports, I'm 62%. You know, in NBA, I'm 62%. In UFC, I'm 63%. But guess what? In baseball, MLB, I'm 55%. So, who actually knows their accuracy when it comes to news stories? There's just no way. It doesn't, Gematria is not proven through news stories. So, in conclusion, sports Gematria is based on real time results. News Gematria is based on opinion. You can create numerical narratives for both teams every time with only one clear winner. So, how many numerical narratives can you create for a news story? And how do you even know it's correct? Using Sports Gematria real-time results, you can start to get an idea of how accurate you may be doing with news decodes. I.e., example, make 10 sports picks, get 6 right, 4 wrong. You can only conclude that 10 news stories, you're going to get 6 right and 4 wrong. But you and I both know that if there's no real winner or loser decided at the end of a news story, most of you are automatically going to assume that you're 100% right 100% of the time with your news stories, even though you may be only 50-50 with your sports picks.